Welcome everyone to episode 1 of our CSRD series of Next Year projects. Today we're going to focus on what CSRD actually means for you and what actually it means not only in your function but for your company. So let's take a step back. CSRD means Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. In other words, you have to comply with 2 matrices of the 3 that I'm going to mention. So one, you have 50 million turnover, 25 million assets and 250 employees. So if you have 2 of the 3, then you know that you will need to comply with the CSRD by 2026. I'm excluding, of course, all the companies that, of course, had to comply with the NFRD or are listed, because these companies will need to comply by 2025. So what does the CSRD mean for you? So what the CSRD means is that you, of course, will need to do different scopings, but a double materiality assessment. During this series, we're going to, of course, zoom in what the double materiality will mean for you. This double materiality, of course, looks at the impact that you have on the planet and that the planet has on you. So based on that, we will come with a lot of material topics, in other words, a lot of KPIs that you will need to report in a sustainability report. That is the second part, because you will need to have a sustainability report, and in that sustainability report, you will need to enumerate all these matrices in order to comply with the CSRD. These will need to be public. That means on your website, and of course will be comparable, because everybody will be able to read, of course, what you've done and what you've been reporting on. That means that now, of course, we'll have a baseline that we know exactly who is better than the rest and what have others been doing in the past and what others have not been doing in the past. Or in other words, have some people been evolving in sustainability, or have people actually been plateauing? This is the beauty of the CSRD, that actually now we're talking the same language with each other with the CSRD. CSRD, to take a step back again, is not only about ESG. We're going to focus, of course, on your climate risk. We're going to look, of course, on biodiversity. We're going to look on your emissions. We're going to look on many different matrices that some have been focusing on before and some didn't. And that is what the CSRD does. At the end of this whole CSRD practice, the auditor comes into place. Of course, we have discussion with the auditor throughout the whole process, but at the end, the auditor will need to put a stamp of approval, actually an audit, in order to make sure that everything that you've communicated, everything that you've set in stone is correct. So that's why there is credibility. If you bring the CSRD to the front, there's comparability, because we'll be able to, of course, define if, for example, my company is as good as the other one. And of course, we have a space where we have transparency. So in other words, the CSRD is a great step forward, of course, of many other regulations in the market, because there are many others, but this will bring stability and a baseline for us to talk about sustainability in the future.